Hey, Charles again on monitoring. Now we're really getting into some detail. We want to know how monitoring actually works, how to launch a check on the target device, how measurements are taken there, how we can be sure if something is wrong or not, how warnings get triggered on the monitoring system, and what does the monitoring system then do with them. Let's start right off with a simple agent-based example. Suppose I want to check the CPU load on a server. Remember, running a check just means launching a measurement command on some other device and getting back the measured value. Running just a single check is the foundation of monitoring, and monitoring itself is the repeated application of checks at scheduled intervals. It's important to remember that checks actually run on the target machine. They just get direction from the monitor on how and when. The agent on the target serves as the intermediary to receive the check request, launch the appropriate measurement process, collect the results, and send them back to the monitor. A check is no different than any other script or process. Using this script, we can check the current CPU load locally on a Linux machine. There are many similar scripted checks, each measuring a different characteristic on the target machine. So our agent is basically a server with the monitor as a client, waiting for and then acting on requests. When the agent receives a message to initiate a check, it runs the corresponding script that collects the values. For the response back to the monitor, the agent creates a message that's almost always based on the Nagios protocol, one of the earliest and most influential message formats. That response looks like this text string. You can probably see right away that the agent is reporting back the percentage of user and system load on the CPU and the existing CPU settings. The message starts off with OK, which means the check has already compared the newest value to the configured threshold. In this check, if the sum of the user and sys values is below the configured warning level, it returns OK. Otherwise, it returns warn or critical for those thresholds. The thresholds don't even have to be time. They could be a percentage or just a raw number. And where do those values come from? In most monitoring systems, a configuration file is placed on each target server, containing default values like thresholds. We can also send a one-time check command request where we can override those default values. But whether from a scheduled check using the default thresholds or a one-time check, the response string has the same format. And there are libraries of pre-existing check commands from the Nagios community for Linux and NS Client++ for Windows. You can even write your own if you know a programming language such as Perl. But whether you write your own or you grab an existing one, you'll need to master the vocabulary before you can start. The various host and service states, hard versus soft, when a retry should occur, and when not to issue an alert. But we'll talk about that next time.